Yes, sir. What up, everybody? To go right, and today we're going to talk about the LeBron Air Zoom first generation, the home game. Now, first things first, we're going to talk about the box. They brought back the OG box, like the box that I used to see back in the 2000s all the time, whether I was in my mom's closet or the tiny version for my tiny feet. So it's cool to see these. It's been a minute for sure. I can't even remember the last shoe I had that was in this box, or the last shoe my mom had that was in this box. I want to say she had Nike Shox in this box. Don't quote me, but I think that's the last time that I remember her having this box. But it could have been something else, something like a basic general Nike shoe. I'm not sure. But it's really, really cool to see this. As you can see, it's like 75% brown cardboard, and then the other percent of it is just orange. The back has your regular box stuff. And yeah, gotta just do it right there. Pretty much basic. And then the inside just has regular paper. Nothing too crazy. Now, let's get into the shoe. Now, here is the shoe. As you can see, the main colors on the shoe is white, red, and blue. You do have a little bit of gold on the inside, which I will get to that detail later. But for right now, as you can see, here is the shoe. This shoe first released in 2003. This is called the First Games because this was his first shoe that he wore at his home game, even though it's not the first shoe that he wore, but it's his first shoe at the home game. The first shoe that he wore is actually black. And as you can see, this is not black, but it's dope to have this. And I believe that the black pair is coming out sometime this year as well. Now, at the top of the toe, you do have this nice tumbled leather that goes at the front of the toe box. The white panel is a very flat leather. On the tongue, you have more of that tumbled white going on the front with his logo. You only receive one pair of laces, which is white, which I believe was the same situation when these first released. You only had one pair of laces. Extra pair of laces for these did not exist. The red on the shoe is a nice mesh, following with a check mark that is on top of that is stitched on with a plastic white check. The white on the back of the shoe is a semi-perforated texture. I say semi because the holes don't go all the way through the shoe. They're kind of just there for design purposes. And everything on here that is blue is made out of this metallic plastic that shines and shimmers and looks beautiful. On the back, you do have a little piece of plastic that covers it to protect it from chipping in the box, but these will chip over time as you wear them. The inside of it is made out of a nice silk texture, and that gold detail that I was talking about towards the beginning says November 5th, 2003, which is the first time that he wore this shoe, which is also considered his first game. Home. I gotta keep mentioning that home because these are called the first games, but it's not his first game. It's his second game, but it's his first game at home. So I really wish that they just called these the home games and then the other ones the away. So that way we have, a differentiation of these shoes. Granted, I guess the public can call them that, but we just never called them that. So you got the first game at home. Something I forgot to mention about the tongue, it does have this stretchy material, so it can kind of lock your foot into the shoe, which is a nice thing, especially for back then to have that type of technology going on. On the outsole, you do have the word Nike, and on the medial side, it has the check mark. And on the bottom, you have a decent tread that would probably be really good on an outdoor court, as well as this carbon fiber on the middle. On the medial side, you have this breathable mesh that helps remove the heat when you're playing in these shoes. Metallic plastic on the tongue says his name, LeBron, and that appears on both sides of the shoe. And on the bottom, on the toe box, where you have the perforated holes, it has a Nike check. One thing I wanted to mention is, I don't know if it's just me, but my pair in the box looked a little bit funny looking. They were smushed up, so I kind of wore them trying to, make the shape a little bit better. But it feels like one side has a different curve than the other side. That could just be my pair. It could be all pairs, or maybe I'm just tripping. But I feel like my right shoe curves in more than my left shoe, which is not too big of a problem. It feels kind of weird when one foot's kind of angled in a certain way when the other foot's not. But that's just the one little minor, I guess, flaw to these shoes when it came to my pair, at least, that they did have different types of curving going on with the shoe. Like I said, the first game away are supposed to appear sometime this year, as well as a PE, which is all purple and it's supposed to be all suede. It's not going to be as hairy as LeBron had, but it's going to be pretty close to that, just resembling his PE. I'm on the verge of wanting to pick those up only because it was a PE, so I like copying things that were PEs that are now general releases. But I'm just kind of hurt that it's not as hairy as it was when LeBron wore them. And if they were a tad bit hairier, it would be an instant cop. But because it's a little bit more of a flat suede, I'm more kind of on the verge of whether or not I will pick those up. But yeah, that ends the review for these LeBrons. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I appreciate each and every one of you guys so much for watching. Salute.